We're asking the audience to please stand and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Licking County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard. Please be seated. Good evening to everyone. We ask tonight for the consideration of our graduates and their families. We ask you to please silence all cell phones at this time. We also ask that you refrain from photography or video near the stage area. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. The faculty, the candidates, and guests of Central Ohio Technical College are assembled, and I now proclaim the Autumn 2013 commencement ceremony to be in session. Before we proceed, I'd like to call your attention to the many flags that you'll find on the platform here behind me. These are the flags from the countries of origin, represented by our diverse student population. The college recognizes and values the diversity of our students, and we have enjoyed the increasing diversity in recent years. We display these flags proudly at campus events as a tribute to you, a tribute to the varied cultures that flourish on this campus. I am pleased at this time to introduce the members of the Central Ohio Technical College Board of Trustees who are with us this evening. Trustees are appointed by the governor of the state of Ohio and by local school boards. As I call your name, please remain standing for recognition. Cheryl L. Snyder, Chair. Billy J. Zimmers. Thank you. Please be seated. We are also honored tonight by the presence of Dr. Richard Libby. Dr. Libby is seated here on the platform. He is a special guest of the Office of the President. He is a former Dean of Academic Affairs at COTC from 1977 through 1981. He also served as interim president for academic year 1979-1980. The former dean is joined tonight by his wife, Dr. Wendy Libby, who is currently serving as president of Stetson University in the state of Florida. Welcome to our special guests. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce Cheryl Snyder, chairperson of the Central Ohio Technical College Board of Trustees, to offer congratulations on behalf of the entire board.
Thank you, Dr. Coe, and good evening, graduates, to your families, your friends, supporters. I extend a warm welcome to each of you as we celebrate this very special milestone occasion. Friday, December 13th, 2013. What a great special night for you. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Central Ohio Technical College, I offer our sincere congratulations to each of you on your meaningful and significant accomplishment. Your successes put purpose to our work at your college. There are a few facts about your graduating class that I'd like to share with you. There are 154 graduates, and many of you are in attendance tonight. Your class represents 13 of the 88 counties in Ohio. The average age is 20, and your ages span 4 decades. No surprise to all of you, but the group might be interested to know the popular majors represented tonight are nursing, business management, surgical technology, and human services. Much progress has been made in expanding access to higher education. And even more progress has been made in the expansion of options that are available for building upon your foundation, and it's a great foundation of your COTC education. Wherever your journey takes you, we hope that you will remain an engaged member of the community and commit to staying connected with your college family through the COTC Alumni Program. You will now join nearly 10,000 professionals that are a part of the extended COTC family of graduates. Your accomplishments make us proud. Congratulations.
Cheryl, we thank you so much, and I want to comment that as chair of the board, Cheryl is continuously in attendance at our commencement ceremony. So thank you so very much for bringing greetings today. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I also have the distinct honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Mr. Bill Spurgeon. Bill is Newark City Director of Public Safety and, very importantly, a Central Ohio Technical College alumnus. Mr. Spurgeon is a 1984 graduate of the college and a member of the COTC Alumni Council. He serves as president of the Fire Science Advisory Committee here at the college, which is an active group that guides the development of our fire science program. Mr. Spurgeon is also an adjunct instructor in the Fire Science Technology program. A recent graduate of the Ohio Fire Executive Program, Mr. Spurgeon is a state-certified fire officer, fire instructor, and emergency medical technician. Additionally, he graduated cum laude in 2010 from Mount Vernon Nazarene University with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Bill Spurgeon, tonight's commencement speaker.
Well, good evening, and thank you, Dr. Coe, for your kind words. Family, friends, graduates, and guests, we're overjoyed that you've taken the time to come here tonight and share in this special occasion as we celebrate the accomplishments of our most recent graduating class. What a joy and privilege it is to deliver tonight's address. When asked to speak, I jumped at the chance, for I'm delighted to give back to our wonderful school. During this address, I'll attempt to speak to your heart. I'll state what a gift you've been given and your duty to serve others. I'll encourage you to stay connected with our institution, and I'll encourage you to make a difference. But before I do, I'd like to share a story of an individual who has tried to make the most of his experience with our great school. In 1981, a young man graduated from high school, and he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do, but he felt a desire to pursue a higher education. Somewhat intimidated by the thought of a big university, he chose to stay near home. He worked part-time while going to school. And along the way, he was exposed to many new topics, and they were exciting. To name a few: theories of management, effective communications, human resources, and accounting. And although some of these lessons have faded, all had a profound effect. Along the way, he met a great man and teacher. Mr. Jerry Garst was an instructor who taught that business exists for one reason only, and that's to make a profit. They do this by providing goods or services, and if they don't, they go belly up. Well, the effect of those words were profound, and the education he received helped him become a better man, husband, father, and friend. It also helped him to attain professional successes along the way. The man I speak of has had many occasions to sit for job interviews and promotions, and indeed, he was able to garner most of these positions, and when he did, one common thread: the education he received right here at this very school. That person had an advantage over others. You have that advantage over others: a degree. No matter what you do or where life leads you, you will always be a graduate of Central Ohio Technical College. Well, I mentioned earlier that I would speak to you about altruism or giving back. Why is this important? It makes the world a better place. Our society has become insensitive to the needs of others and over-reliant on government and religious institutions. We've collectively reached this point by prioritizing self over sacrifice. Well, I'll give you this. It is far better to serve than to be served. And it doesn't have to be newsworthy. Simple acts of kindness can help us chart a new course towards peaceful living. See someone stopped in traffic? Let them out. Hold the door for a second, or simply say, "Good morning, how are you?" Be slow to anger and quick to forgive, for these acts help us sow the seeds of love, and in this in turn makes life better for all. There are powerful messages in our popular culture to seek self-gratification, but before you do, listen to these words from the great doctor and Reverend Martin Luther King. "I said to my children, I'm going to work and do everything I can to see that you get a good education. And I don't ever want you to forget that there are millions of God's children who will not and cannot get a good education. And I don't want you feeling that you are better than they. For you will never be what you ought to be until they are what they ought to be." Another quote from Mother Teresa. "At the end of life, we will not be judged by how many diplomas we've received, how much money we have made, or how many great things we have done. We will be judged by, I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was homeless, and you took me in." These two great examples of putting the needs of others ahead of our own. And yet one more. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, spoken by the legendary Mahatma Gandhi. These thoughts were offered by wise people who understood that as we raise others up, we raise up ourselves. Altruism, making the world a better place by serving others, simple acts of kindness, lifting up others to lift up ourselves. Well, I'd also encourage you to stay connected. A great opportunity exists to stay engaged with the very place where you've started your journey. On behalf of President Christy Hawthorne, President-elect Jay Barker, and the entire committee, I invite you to become involved in our COTC Alumni Council. This assembly is a group of volunteers who serve as an advisory committee to the Director of Development. Well, has anyone taken the time to see what our mission is? And in case you haven't, here it is, and I quote, "Our mission is to meet the technical education and training needs of students and employers in the area. The COTC Alumni Council assists our college to meet its mission, and your input could have a profound effect. Please get involved by contacting the development office." Well, I also challenge you to give back. We have a first-class educational facility, and we're poised and ready to meet the needs of employers and students. I've had the opportunity to visit a number of other learning institutions, and I will tell you this, ours is second to none. I could go on and on about the educational offerings, but I would be remiss not to remind you of Warner, Reese, Lefevre, Adena, Founders, and Hopewell. All are outstanding areas of opportunity and growth. And have you ever taken the time to stop and look at our great campus? During our busy lives, we can sometimes fail to notice amenities, such as the Everett D. Reese Carillon or the Martha Grace Amphitheater. All these things add up to a great educational value, and we're glad you're here. Won't you please encourage your friends and neighbors to visit our campus and see all that we have to offer? Go back to your high school reunion and spread the word. COTC is a value-added opportunity and well-positioned to meet the needs of today's ever-changing job market. Get involved with one of our capital campaigns. Help us make sure that this institution is better for those to come. Well, let us now review the thoughts of Reverend King. You'll remember, he said to his children, "I don't ever want you to forget that there are millions of God's children who will not and cannot get a good education." Well, fortunately for us, we have received a good education. We owe it to ourselves, to one another, and to this institution. Won't you please give back? Well, by now, you might have figured out, or in case you haven't, the young person in my opening story was me. and it was 1981, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And I was young, but I knew I had a call to get educated, and I was intimidated by the thought of going to a big university. So after working a number of menial jobs, I happened across COTC. It was close to home, and it was affordable. But what I didn't know at the time was this very institution where we gather this evening would change my life. I learned research skills and could find fact as opposed to conventional wisdom. I gained independence and study skills, and those study skills helped enhance my ability to take promotional examinations in a local fire department. Communication skills helped me when a man I didn't know named Jeff Hall invited me to lunch. Well, little did I know at the time, our mayor-elect was sizing me up as he needed help administering the safety affairs of the city. And I now serve Mayor Hall as your Director of Public Safety. So you see, whatever your path, whatever your call, serve others, honor this institution by giving back, and please help us all make the world a better place. May all of life's blessing continue to follow you, your family, and our Central Ohio Technical College. Thank you.
I was just saying, wonderful, Bill, absolutely wonderful. Thank you for those motivational comments. We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. We will now recognize those students graduating with special distinction.
Thank you, Dr. Coe. It is my pleasure this evening to recognize those students graduating with honors. To help you appreciate their achievements, let me note that on the college's grading scale, a perfect 4.0 grade point average indicates that a student received straight A's. The students graduating with honors have earned an overall grade point average of 3.5 on a grade scale of 4.0. The names of students who have achieved this level of performance are identified in your commencement program. Also, Central Ohio Technical College honor graduates can be recognized by the gold tassels on their caps. Will all of our Central Ohio Technical College honor graduates please rise? Congratulations, and please be seated. Other honor graduates are members of Phi Theta Kappa, the International Honor Society of two-year colleges. These students maintained at least a 3.25 grade point average and are involved in numerous service projects on campus in our community. Phi Theta Kappa students are wearing gold stoles. Will all of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society graduates please stand? Thank you. You may be seated. For the first time at this institution, I'd like to recognize our nursing graduates who are members of the Alpha Delta Nu Nursing Honor Society. Alpha Delta Nu recognizes the academic excellence of students in the study of associate degree nursing. These students maintained at least a 3.0 grade point average in nursing classes and are wearing apricot cords. Will all of the Alpha Delta Nu Nursing Honor Society graduates please stand? Congratulations, and please be seated. Additionally, I would like to recognize one student who is graduating with double associate degrees. Will the student receiving 2 associate degrees please stand for recognition of your special accomplishment? Thank you and congratulations. And now it is my privilege to recognize those students who are graduating as veterans or members of the United States military. Military veterans are identified by red, white, and blue cords. We honor and appreciate your service to our country. Please stand and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. Candidates, as I call your degree or certificate, please rise. Audience members, please hold your applause until all the candidates have been recognized. Will all the candidates for the degree Associate of Applied Business and Accounting Technology please stand and be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Will all of the candidates for the degree Associate of Applied Business and Business Management Technology please stand and be recognized? Congratulations, and you may be seated. Will all of the candidates for the degree Associate of Applied Science and Criminal Justice Technology please rise and be recognized? Congratulations, you may be seated. Will the candidate for the degree Associate of Applied Science and Engineering Technology please stand? Congratulations to you, and you may be seated. Will the candidate for the degree Associate of Applied Science and Forensic Science Technology please stand and be recognized? Congratulations and thank you. You may be seated. Will all of the candidates for the degree Associate of Applied Science and Human Services please stand and be recognized? Thank you very much and congratulations. For all the candidates for the degree Associate of Applied Science and Nursing Technology, please stand and be recognized. Large group. Congratulations to all and thank you very much. You may be seated. Will all of the candidates for the degree Associate of Applied Science and Surgical Technology please stand and be recognized? Congratulations to you all and thank you. You may be seated. Will all the candidates for the degree Associate of Arts please rise and be recognized? Thank you very much, and you may be seated. Will the candidate for the degree Associate of Science please rise and be recognized? Thank you, sir. You may be seated. Will the candidate for the Certificate in Emergency Medical Services Paramedic please stand and be recognized? Thank you, sir. All right. Will all the candidates please rise? Dr. Coe, I have the distinct honor to present and recommend on behalf of the faculty of Central Ohio Technical College these candidates who have completed all of the requirements for the Associate of Applied Business degree, Associate of Applied Science degree, Associate of Arts degree, Associate of Science degree, Emergency Medical Services Paramedic Certificate, Practical Nursing Certificate, and Surgical Technology Certificate.
Thank you, Dr. Knudsen. This is the important part. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Central Ohio Technical College Board of Trustees and the State of Ohio, I confer upon you the appropriate degrees and certificates with all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Now let's give our candidates a round of applause. In recognition of the degrees and the certificates just conferred, the diplomas will now be handed out. Be seated.
Melinda Sue Barnes. Mindy Marie Boyer. Rebecca Sarche Harrison, U.S. Army veteran. Cassandra Marie Hutchko. Christina Ann Benner, with honors. Heather Dawn Chapman. Kaylin Ray Hostetler. Danielle Sarah Howe. Brittany Nicole Jones. Brittany E. Klinkert. Lauren Nicole Libby. Nicole D. Loudermilk. Sarah A. Perez Gutierrez, with honors. Drayson M. Sillen. Elizabeth Ann Childers. Justin Scott Myers. David Wayne Chenault, Jr. Brian Keith Weekly. Michael Tyler Dugan, with honors. Tara Lee Rogers. Catherine Bean. Jennifer A. Corwin. Kelsey Lee Fowler, with honors. Jessica Lynn Hartman. Erica Suzanne Humbert. Vanessa R. Noble. Erica M. Oprandy, with honors. Ashley Nicole Patterson, with honors. Lindsay Deanne Amspaugh. Heather Vacasey Bajent, with honors. Carrie Ann Banks, with honors. Samantha Renee Castle, with honors. Bradley Allen Chandler, with honors. Danielle Lynn Compton, with honors. Kaylee Alexandra Corns. Brian David Correll. Joyce Lynn DeLong. Felicia L. Dickerson. Fatu Juf. Andrew W. Drolson, with honors. Akbet H. Gebrasadik. Angela Nicole Galoni. Benjamin Robert Gibson. Heather Louise Graham, with honors. Natalie Christina Hartman, with honors. Erica Danielle Hildebrand, with honors. Lori Jo Hornsby. Stephanie Marie Markley. Misty Dawn May, with honors. Krisha Lynn Miller. Melissa Marie Manier, with honors. Laura I. Moreland, with honors. Carissa Kaylin Nagy. Jennifer Lee Ortman, with honors. Carrie Renee Patterson. Natalia Poltariva, with honors. Amanda Marie Price, with honors. Kenneth Michael Quick, with honors. Amanda L. Rhine. Elizabeth Ann Shaw, with honors. Devin Lynn Schilling. Mariah Lynn Sowers, with honors. Emily Ann Spradlin. Jennifer Ann Wahaya. Christy L. Walton, with honors. Andrew O. Ward, United States Marine Corps veteran. Amber Dawn Wicks. Ashley Nicole Zimmerman. Megan L. Bollinger. Christina Marie Franks. Linda N. McMasters. Jason G. Newland Sr. Megan Michelle Rice. Lori Michelle Richards. Melissa Sue Stevens. Jordan Michelle Love. Anna Marie May Porter. Adam W. Haldeshell, with honors. Andrew R. Dymar.
At this time, I'd like to ask the graduates to please rise. In keeping with academic tradition, you may now transfer your tassels from right to left. This is symbolic. This is a visible sign that you are now a graduate of Central Ohio Technical College. Now let's give our graduates one more round of applause. Please be seated. As we celebrate with you tonight, I want to take a moment to reflect upon the planning and the deep commitment that each one of you must have had in order to reach this great milestone. Your plan to pursue higher education and your commitment and your perseverance toward that end played an enormous role in your success tonight. Congratulations. Just like you, we look forward to an exciting future. Allow me to be the first to very proudly welcome you to the growing ranks of extraordinary Central Ohio Technical College alumni. Tonight's ceremony is important to everyone that is here. It represents collaboration and commitment. I would like to recognize the faculty and staff members who are able to be here tonight with you. COTC faculty and staff, please stand for recognition. Thank you. Please be seated. And now, will the families and friends of our graduates please stand so that we may recognize you. Thank you, and please be seated. I would like to express my personal thanks to the Commencement Planning Committee. That committee is under the leadership of Renee White, as well as the many members of the campus and community who helped make this an occasion for you to remember. Let's give them a round of applause. This concludes the autumn 2013 commencement of Central Ohio Technical College. Please remain seated until the platform party, the faculty, and the graduates have recessed. I now direct the recessional to begin.